drops and call a priest. Man, I'm in the belly of the beast. Full speed ahead and no retreat. I've landed in the belly of the beast. Razor claws and razor teeth, chewed up in the belly of the beast. He dig the blood, he gonna feast. Oh no, I'm in the belly of the beast. I'm swimming in the belly of the beast. Got no way out, I've no release. Caught like a fly, caught like a thief. Oh, it's scary in the belly of the beast. Look for friends and pray for peace. There's no comfort in the belly of the beast. If you're strong or if you're weak, you can't hide in the belly of the beast. If you got the most or got the least, there's no bribes in the belly of the beast. He on the move, he on his feet. Whoa, you can't escape the belly of the beast. I'm swimming in the belly of the beast. Got no way out, I've no release. Caught like a fly, caught like a thief. Oh, it's scary in the belly of the beast. He come at night and kill your dreams. Nightmare in the belly of the beast. He craving meat, he gonna eat. Man, it's smelly in the belly of the beast. Run for cover, try to flee. Don't go near the belly of the beast. Chilling cold and burning heat. Lord, it's hell in the belly of the beast. I'm swimming in the belly of the beast.
Things are working retarded already.
Okay, there we go. Should be back now. Yay. Welcome, everybody, to SEO This Week, episode 187. Thank you all for joining me. If you don't know who I am, my name is Clint Butler. Thank you for stopping by. If you want to see the links for the show, you can see those on Digitaleer.com. Just look at Digitaleer and hit the blog. Or you can scroll down on the homepage and you'll see the URL right there. If you're on Facebook, Twitter, all that stuff, I can see your comments. So go ahead and drop them and let me know that you are there. Today I want to do some schema stuff. We're going to talk about local business schema. Just kind of go after that and target that a little bit. As always, the questions are available for you and answers as we go through. I have no problem doing that. And we're going to, or I'm going to actually do some local business stuff. Primarily, I would like to help like one of you folks out. If you have a website that you want to see if we can make your schema look better, that would be a much more beneficial to everybody. But if you don't, then I'm just going to do a build a template for a site for my course for whatranks.com, and we can the members will get that template and just start building niche stuff, right? So but hopefully one of you has something that you would like to have some work done on and check out, and we'll go that route. All right, let's see. News highlights. Let's talk about that first. While you guys decide if you want to share your site or not, is first is that there's 5-7 stories on there. A couple of those are actually tools, though, I think that you'll find useful. One of them is a Data Studio report. I misspelled that on the slide, but it's a Data Studio report that compares 2 time periods. So you select, in this case, you would actually select post update and then, or pre-update and then post update. And you can see the changes and how that update affected you. You won't be able to say what changed, but you'll be able to say how those changes affected you. And on that subject, the update is still rolling out. Google's talked about it. There's a lot of people in the black hat world, and people who monitor the I'm going to say the algo changes, but watch bounces and stuff like that, and can see that stuff in mass. And they already announced that it was going to take a couple of weeks for that to go out, for the update to get fully populated among all the data centers and stuff. And I'm pretty much seeing that that's consistent. Stuff's still going up and stuff is still going down. I can tell you right now, anyone that tells you that they know what's going on with the algorithm update is completely full of shit. They may be trying to make some educated guesses on what they're seeing right now. And even myself, like I can make some educated guesses, but when I'm looking at the correlations, and I use Quora for this, Quora SEO software. If you want to know about it, let me know. But I use that and I look at the correlations that the software gives me, and compare that before and after based off a Quora run. So in order to really pull that off, you have to have a set of keywords and run them like, my goal is to have 100 in a bunch of different markets, but you run them before, if presumably, hopefully, the algorithm update is coming, or you just do it once a month to be on the safe side, and then you run an after against the same target site, and ultimately what you get is a difference changes in correlations, and you can kind of see what changes for that. I can tell you right now that every keyword has it's got a different thing, right? So there's a different every keyword has a different set of correlations of what changed, what went up, and what went down. Even in the same markets, like I've got, for example, SEO stuff, Phoenix SEO, Scottsdale, Mesa, that kind of stuff. Even in that same SEO space, the correlations are different. So. And that's also the same holds to be true in different, like I have tax courses in California, some mobile app stuff, and some legal stuff. And it's all the correlations have all shifted to different things. So I want to show you probably towards the end of the month, like towards the end of the year, once I do the write-up for SIA, I'll show you some of those changes and show you why data in separate markets, if you're mixing that all up and trying to make assumptions, you're going wrong, or you're steering people in the wrong direction. It's and if if Quora software has taught us anything, or on-page analysis software like Surfer or Page Optimizer Pro have taught us anything, it's keyword to keyword. And I'll show you why you need to get off of these changes that they did, and why a lot of those are wrong. Because I've seen, to be truthful, I've seen a lot of posts. Even Lily Ray even did a nice one based off of data from SimilarWeb, I believe is where her source was. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong on that, but she did a scrape of data off of there in 37 different markets and came up with a bunch of conclusions. And then you look at that stuff today, and you look at the data points that she used in her blog post, and the algorithm has shifted those around again, right? So I think just to reiterate that point, especially if you're niche down, you're lucky because you get to say what changed, and you can kind of pick your big winners and losers and that kind of stuff. But if you're all over the place like me, you got to have a whole bunch of different data sets to compare and contrast, and so you can make some intelligent decisions when you're doing your math stuff. So there's that. The other one is SEO Asked, and that's actually it's a decent website. There's only 24 posts on it right now, but basically what it is someone's curating all of the Googlers, and when someone asks them a question, they repost that in a curated format and try to put all these questions and answers together in a site just for you. So it's called SEO Asked. That's actually pretty cool. The SEO strategies post. There's 3 tips on there. I think you'll like. I won't go too far into it because the local business stuff's going to take us quite a while to write up, but it's decent. I think you'll enjoy that post. The Amazon PPC one is pretty neat. It's kind of a way to figure out keywords and stuff within that Amazon PPC platform. Full disclosure, I know nothing about it, but I thought that was pretty interesting. And I know there's plenty of people that watch this show who have products on Amazon. And that Amazon PPC stuff might be some interest to you. The cohort research post you see mentioned there, it's keyword research, is using cohort stuff. I found that actually really interesting. It's kind of heady in like a nerdy keyword research. But I liked it. I like the ideas behind it. And I think if you take that and kind of add it to your toolbox, maybe you'll find just that certain markets that makes it a lot easier for you to pick out winners and losers, right? So check that out. And then finally is that 400 tips post. This is one I found last week. I missed SEO this week, last week, and a bunch of these posts are from last week. But this one is actually, it's neat. There's a collection of 400 tips that, from my perspective, that's 400 tests right there to kind of look at or test ideas and look at those and see if we can formulate decent tests around those. Kind of get us away, because we're doing a lot of, code and tags and content optimization and keyword density and keyword frequency and blah, blah, blah. And I think I don't think we've, it's not the end of that testing, but, those constantly have to be retested after an update. But I think it's, we've kind of beaten that horse to death. And so these 400 tips is actually pretty cool when we can start doing testing in real life environments, i.e. pages that we're really trying to rank for, and kind of illustrate, this is how it worked on this website for this, using this method. Try it out. It won't be scientific by any means of the imagination, and we can't say that it's a factor or not, but we'll say, hey, this worked, this didn't, etc. Which is a little bit dangerous in and of itself, because what works for one website may not work for another. What works for one keyword may not work for another. But that's why testing tools like the IMG testing tool that Ted made, and he's had some time to rebuild that one of these days, so it actually works again, where you can test a factor across 10 different websites and see the variation, and see if it's if it's a consistent winner versus a part-time winner. And I don't spend a lot of time on part-time winner stuff, but so it's, but building one of those multi-site tests by hand using Dreamweaver, which is how I build my test pages, is a complete and utter pain in the ass. So hopefully Ted figures out that solution. I'm not codey enough to know it, so one of these days. All right, let's see. Check in the chat. No, nobody with sites, huh? I don't have a whole lot of people watching anyway right now, so I think to be fair, right? The topic of schema is getting beaten down quite a lot. Rich snippets and the transfer over to the rich snippets testing tool has outed a bunch of what do I want to call it, quasi, I don't want to say quasi, but professional SEO or schema experts. People who had never talked about schema before, all of a sudden they're just falling out of the woodwork. And when you do that, or when that happens to a method or something like that, is a lot of mixed signals come along, a lot of inherent biases come along, and your application is based off of the bias of the person, your bias towards the person that is actually providing you that information, right? So if you're with the Schema app crowd, or the Sitebulb crowd, or the Spanish, what is her name, Adelia crowd. I know there's some guy in UK who released a Schema course now. He's also, all of a sudden, he's the brand master of entities and branding with Schema and interlinking with Schema. I got mine, Daryl Osborne. He was probably the first one that I know. Well, he's the second guy that I know that was actually released a Schema course. So, all that to say that just kind of, sometimes it's a little bleh, right? But it's also a topic that just needs to be taught, and it needs to be addressed, and it needs to be employed across your websites. Like Ted Kabaitis, he said that the Q&A schema is on fire right now, and it has been for a while, but as Google is moving around featured snippets and stuff, that's even more important to leverage. In particular, what I'm talking about is one of the HTML changes or position changes that I saw inside of the latest update was people also ask. And there was the ad space, the map, then people also ask, and then organic. Or I saw even, you have the search bar, people also asked, and organic, and they shifted that up significantly. So those are things you need to know, and those are things that are driven by Schema. I have a little bit of a mixed feelings about it, because as you feed more of the rich snippet stuff, you keep more people on search results using your stuff, but at the same time, your competition is going to use that, and if you don't, you're going to be kind of screwing yourself. So it's a big deal to actually figure that out. It's not Q&A page schema. There's question and answer schema that you put on any page if you are addressing a question and answer. And then there's FAQ schema, where it fires off a different snippet. And according to terms of service, that's supposed to be on your FAQ page, but everyone knows that that's not how it's being employed and how Google is leveraging it. So, there's two different schemas. There's question and answer, and then there's FAQ, and how to, etc. So, I would check all that stuff out and look at the employment of it. Let's see. All right. No questions, no site volunteers. So I'm going to pick a site. You guys missed out. I would have done your schema for you. New window. Ted said, blah, blah, blah has JSON LD question, and the other one has JSON LD answer, and core specifically, and that is correct. Those are two lines inside of the schema when composed with part of the FAQ. You have the question part and the answer part. So I would imagine, I'm not looking at closely at the correlations right now because the rollout's not done yet, but I would imagine that if you see one, you probably see the other. Is that not correct, Ted? So when you're doing that, and while he answers that, I'm going to switch over to my screen, and I'm going to pick a website. I'm just going to go find one. Like I said, I'll since no one wants their schema written, I'll actually do. I'll start one for the course. Phoenix personal injury. Lawyer. Might as well do lawyers first. Why not? And I found one earlier. Here we go. That one was this one was busted hotness. So we're going to go ahead and improve this one. And I'm going with the one that I'm going to improve because, I think we can all write out basic schema, right? Or we have a plugin that can write out basic schema, but let's actually make schema better. That'll be a whole lot cooler. And here we have this one. I'm going to rip this out and we'll put it here. And turn on that. And then I'll save it as template. See. And John Justice. Hey, you got a site? If you got a site, John, let me know. I'm not too deep into this. I'll change it. Aaron, let's see. If you have NLP schema added, do you have to have those keywords used on the page? And if so, that's like keywords in the schema that are not on the page still get some benefit. No, I talk about this in my course, but the short version is what you're doing is you're giving the whatever your topic is. Think about it at LSI, and I don't even like using LSI anymore. Like the concept behind it, I use entity stuff. Entities are super LSI, and that's kind of stealing a term from Ted Kabitis, right? So what you're doing is you're saying that this site, especially if you're talking about in the web page stuff, and you have about, and you have your entities in there. Those are all of the things that your topic has, and you can do the mention stuff. And if you're writing your content the way I taught in the content writing video I did, I want to say a month or so ago, where I went through my entire content writing process, naturally, you're going to put all of those highly relevant entities inside of there. You may miss one or two, but for the most part, anything that Topical Relevance puts out, you're going to get into your content via phrase or surfer or cognitive SEO or inlinks. So you can add it in there. You don't necessarily have to be stringent to say, I don't have this one in there, I got to take it out, or I got to add it to my content. If you're following the Google terms of service, or what John Mueller says stringently, then if that's your style, then either add it to your content or take it out, or don't put it in your schema. That's fine. But otherwise, it's not really that big of a deal if if there's a couple words in there that aren't part of your content, but you have them inside of your your schema, you're going to be okay. And can you use LSI keywords in the schema that are not on the page and still get some benefit? You can. If you get into descriptions, you get into disambiguous descriptions, you get into keywords list, there's knows about, and some other things where you can drop those LSIs in there naturally as part of your schema writing process. And maybe we'll capture on some of that as we go through here and write this stuff. All right, so let's see. I want to see. I want to make this bigger. Yeah. All right, you guys should be able to see it. All right, so in this case, I'm only going to focus specifically on the local business stuff. I'm not going, I was thinking about adding the web page to it, but if I do that, I have to do a graph. Let me see how I want to handle this. I'm going to do 2 separate schemas because you don't have to do a graph if you don't want to. You can do the 2 separate schemas and you just got to tie it in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tie it in. And I'm just going to knock this part out first because it's the fastest. So we're going to go to topicalrelevance.com. There we go. And we're going to get the web page schema. And I need this keyword because this is the one we're going after. It's going to go in here. If you're using topicalrelevance.com, Aaron, for your writing stuff, you're going to see the semantic keywords. There'll be a single words, phrases, and then phrases. Obviously, if you know under that LSI concept, all of these would be in your content, and then you have the entities, and here's based on frequency or based on relevance, and you can see they're all kind of dropped in here at the same time. So we're going to use this, and I teach how to do the graph inside of my course, but if you don't want to use that graph, you don't have to. And what you do is drop in. This is the proper use of this, and a lot of people are doing some weird shit with these ad ID stuff, but you don't really have to. I'm going to go here. And we'll put web page. All right. And then because this local business schema is on this web page, I'm going to drop it right there. So web page, local business schema, here's all my about stuff and my mentions, etc. And because this is the Virgo in me. This bugs you guys as much as it bugs me. You want all these in there. Nice spots. So this makes it easier to read stuff. And I need this URL again. I'm going to replace it here. And I'm going to need it right there. There it is. It's already in there, so I'm good. And then the headline. This is, a headline doesn't necessarily have to be the title tag of the page. In this case, we're just going to we can look at that. Let's see if it's different. Phillips Law Group. I'll use that. We use the title tag of the headline. Here it is. And you can replace it here. Phoenix Personal Injury Attorney Lawyer, Phillips Law Group. There we go. That should work. Yeah, it's gonna work fine. And then I wanna. Again, you don't have to do this part. It just makes it. I like it a little bit cleaner. Alrighty. Okay. All right, so you see what I did. A lot of people are using like maps stuff in here, or they're using knowledge graph URLs, or they're the Google Maps shorten link, and they're trying to tie these all in together. And so far, all of my testing has proved that it's not really doing anything. And it's not building any associations or anything like that. It's just saying this is the ID of this particular context and type, and it is related to this one. Is essentially all that it's doing. So if we actually ran that in the testing tool right now, you'll see that legal service and pages. Right, I don't have breadcrumbs. We're not even messing with that. Not going to. So let's see how it changed. And now it's tied in together, right? So here's the legal service, the web page, here's the area served, and there you go. Here's all the about stuff, and all that's all popped into now what is part of the local business schema. Okay, so it's all together and it's built in that hierarchy. And a lot of people are teaching put your map stuff in there or your machine ID in there, etc. And it's not actually working the way that they think it is. It's not doing that association. Let's say though, for instance, you're being taught to put your machine ID in this box, right? So if you put your machine ID in there and then you put your machine ID in here, you're going to ultimately do the same thing that I did right here, because you're saying that those two IDs you're associating one with the other. Okay. So that's, you actually see something by doing that because you essentially created the same label. Label is the term that I was looking for that, which is, like some people use it, some people, I just, this is what the ad ID is used for, so use it for that, right? Let me move this over just in case, because sometimes that gets cut off. Turn word wrap on, because I'm going to go to the particular schema for this one. We're going to use legal service. And I'll show you how to get more out of this. And I go into this ad nauseum with my course, and probably more than you really have to. But I'm going to do it anyway. So here's local business schema for legal services, and we're going to start populating stuff. And one of the key things that I look for in here is, if I can put text in there, text relates to places where I can put some relevant stuff. But I want to be smart about it and what's going on with, what I'm doing, right? So obviously I could put payment accepted and then I can use text, but that doesn't necessarily mean I could drop a keyword or a related term in there. It just doesn't make any sense. And some people will actually go through and check this stuff out for you. So, and tattle on you if you're obviously stuffing it. So, make sure that you apply some brains to your whole process. But what I want to do now is actually take this list here, and we're going to build this out and make it a whole lot better. And you can see there's plenty of different things to go along in here. And one tip to know is all the properties and thing you can use in every schema. So if you have a schema type and there's a properties thing here, you can add all of these, and these are kind of my favorites. So what we're going to do is start plugging away and doing that. And one thing that I noticed out of here is the same as stuff is missing. So we're going to do same as, and then drop that in there. And I want to go here, and I'm looking for this. There we go. So I got my same as stuff. I'm going to use that, and essentially what I'm doing, because this is local business, right? Put all your citations in here. This is a organization, but I'm not doing organization for this website. But typically the Facebook and the Twitter and stuff, that would be under the organization. And then the citation stuff would be under the local business, which is what I'm opening now, as most of these citation things. Just kind of tie that in there. YouTube would be organization, LinkedIn organization. Here's another citation, Law Crossing, citation, ZipRecruiter. I'm not going to put that. Glassdoor, because they're working there. That'll be a good one. As a matter of fact, I'm just going to stay consistent. I'm not even going to put that in there. Alrighty, so let's do some of this. Typically, what I'll tell you is if you have a Yext account, and I do a lot of Yext stuff. So if you have Yext, you're gonna get roughly 68 citations off of Yext that are actually of value to you, that are not part of a like a mobile app. Well, that's not true. You'll get like 48 that are not part of a mobile app, but 68 total. I just use the lists that I can export out of Yext for this part right here. If you're doing this for somebody else, and what I just did there, how to search that and find their top ranking ones is fine. There is no real, hey, you should only put 10, you should only put 20, or never put 500. Just keep in mind that when you're writing this stuff, it's going into the head of your document. So if you write a schema that's like 12,000 lines of code, then you might have a little bit of issues with page load speed down the road. But for the most part, there is no limits. There's no minimum or maximum. And we're building associations right here. Looks like my mic's still working. That's good. All right. So I got those associations written. Let's see. And that's the last one of those. So that's done. So I got the same as done. Tab that. All right. Questions while I'm going along. Any tips on how to get site links? You can't force it. You fill in the site link stuff. It's basically breadcrumbs or navigation. Depends on what Google wants to use that day. Typically, I find that it's coming off of your navigation of your website. There is no schema that forces site links, and either you qualify for it or you don't. It's just the end of the day. That's what it means. So, but you can notice that site links are mostly driven off of the navigation. So if I look at Digitaleer, and I got site links right here. Most of these are in my well, they were mostly in my navigation, but as you can see, Google's changed it. I don't even think any of these are in. This one might be in the homepage. I can't even remember. But the rest of these aren't even on the homepage. And Google just picks out of and I think what's happening is they're picking out of the popularity of your website and just deciding that these are your popular pages and these are the ones that we're going to show for your site links. You can't drive it with schema. I've tried. All right, let's see. What are we at next? I did same as. Let's do currencies accepted. I'm just going to fill all this stuff out to kind of make this look a little bit nicer of a business, right? So we're going to need currencies accepted because I don't want to have to misspell it in front of you guys. Opening hours, I don't need that. Payments accepted, we'll put that one in there. Price range, I'll put that in there because you get a rich snippet out of that if you use it. Let's see, and I'll jump to that in a minute. You see why I like using Sublime? It actually helps me out with error stuff, right? So if I'm missing things, it'll tell me where I'm missing things. Not necessarily directly, but it will tell me where. So in this case, if it's highlighted red, you usually go to the line above and you have an error there. And you fix that error and then you're good to go. So we're going to go here, payment accepted, cash, credit card. There we go. Cash, credit card, crypto, financing. I don't know a lawyer that does financing, but sounded cool. Price range. He's kind of a baller lawyer, so we're gonna give him 2 stars. We'll give him 3. Alrighty, let's see. Question: do you do local business schema on the geo pages or something else? I do local businesses on the page as related to the local business. So if my business has an address and I have a page for that address, then I'll actually put that in there on that page. Now, if I have another page, let's take Digitaleer for example. I've shown this plenty of times, but you have I have a Phoenix office, but I don't have a Scottsdale, Tempe, and all that other stuff. But I have a Phoenix page. I use the local business schema for the Phoenix office on those other pages, because I'm servicing that. And then let's take this lawyer. If they don't have a Phoenix, they have a Phoenix office, but not one in Scottsdale. But they have a Scottsdale page. You put the same thing on there on the Scottsdale page, and you just use areas served. That is different versus the actual specific address. In this case, he's got 2,500 miles. So I think it's miles or meters. I can't remember which one that runs into. Typically, I don't use a circle, but you can actually hit in like this. They're doing here is hitting the entire state, right? So it's up to you and how you want to crack that nut. If you're doing the fake map stuff, then you're going to have one page with one fake map, and the local business schema should be to that map to build the association for the maps. Let's see. Area served is there. Address, locality, Phoenix, Arizona. This is kind of redundant. I'm not really a fan of that. I'll leave it though. Yeah, see, this is redundant. There's the map. It's tied into the map. It's fine. And then the area served. I'm not loving the area served. That's that. What the hell? Okay, that's that. Yeah, I can delete all of this. I'm going to delete that because I don't like it. And then I will put my own area served in there. And then I will go here and this is the Phoenix page, Phoenix, Arizona. And I'll drop this in here, Phoenix, Arizona. And then I want to see if, there you go, neighborhoods, urban villages, there you go, 15 urban villages. So we want Awatuki, Alhambra, Camelback East, is there any point in entering the same info in different sections? Not really. The description and the disambiguated description, typically for the most part when I do them, they just end up being the same across the every application of it, or where I can do it. That's purely out of laziness. If you really want to get crazy with it, and I've showed this before, is you can use Quillbot to spin those and come out with different versions of it. It's not really spinning, it's just rewriting them. And then with paraphrase with synonyms like thesaurus. Think of thesaurus, busting open your thesaurus and writing different, using different words to say the same thing. Right. That's what Coolbot does. And you can do that, but there's no. To answer your question, there's no benefit in saying the same thing over and over and over again, other than it's just easier to do. Maryvale. There's people watching. I know Chris Labat. I don't know how you say his name. Labate. I'm going to say Labat because it sounds like Labatt's beer. He knows it, and he's probably thinking the same thing that I would do is have these Google NLP returns for knowledge graph machine ID. Each one of these cities and each one of these neighborhoods has one of these codes. You can use a tool like SEO Ruler. Pablo added that to SEO Ruler at my request, and you can not only put the Wikipedia links in here, you could put those machine IDs in there to build that tie-in a whole lot better. But as you can see, I'm located now in Phoenix. This is where I've said it located. Here's the areas. This is the geo circle around my business. Here's my map, and here's some of the areas that I serve within the Phoenix area. Obviously, you can go a little bit better. Really, this part here, I don't really think you even need this circle thing here, unless you're doing a service area only business, right? But they have their address in their map, so it's not service area. It's they serve that areas, but it's not as you would typically consider a service area map, right? But that's part of the geo. You can leave it in there. It's not going to kill it. I'm just tying this in with the Phoenix area a little bit closer with the cities and stuff. That way, if you're in Maryvale, Phoenix, the Maryvale neighborhood of Phoenix, and you search for Phoenix personal injury attorney, you're more likely to pop up having it there versus not, right? And the greedier you get with that area served thing is the less effective that it has. So I'm going to stick just to the city. I can do some more Paradise Valley, downtown. These are the districts. I could probably add those too as I'm building this out, and it'll be fine. But I think you guys get the point on that. So let's see. Award is awesome. So let's give these attorneys some awards. Award. I need this. I need that spelled correctly. And top. Region. Let's see. Best. Number one. Most effective. What else? Best, number one, most effective, greatest. No, we can't put greatest. What is it? Oh, come on. Let me see. Most effective. What the hell? Come on, one more term, guys. One more term. Give me another one. Best, top, number one rated, best, highest case now. Let's see. Most effective. I'm just gonna cheat. I'm just gonna use effective again. That's good. And then clean that up. There's a question, is there a way to hide this from your competitors? Nope, there's not. I teach a way, I'm going to be teaching a way in my course that and make it a little bit harder for people to get it out. But I've shown how to, essentially I show you how to minify this. So it's one big blob on a line. And not a whole lot of people know how to unminify it, as it were, to clean up the code so you can actually read it. But at the end of the day, once you figure that out, you're good. You can implement this with JavaScript, but and so it only pops up after or during the render of the page. It's not necessarily inside of your view source. But there's tools. There's a Chrome extension that will let you see the source code versus what's given in, and then what the browser renders, and you can pull it out that way. So at the end of the day, no, you can't hide this from your competitors. And I'll tell you right now, it's probably a complete and utter waste of time, because your competitors and most of your peers in the SEO market talk all day about how they do handwritten schema. But you can go into a lot of SEO heavy niches and see that that's complete and utter bull. They're not handwriting schema. So if you do schema like I teach you, they're not going to copy it. If you put it in graph, it's going to break and they're going to give up within an hour. If you put it inline, and inline, when I say inline, is I'll show you an example of inline. Here's this episode of SEO this week. Here's the schema for that. It's article and about and all that other stuff. They're not going to do all this work. They're not going to change it, right? So 1 in 100 will do it, and it's just the way it is. So hiding it, you're just kind of wasting your time. Can you share the name of the extension that shows rendered HTML? I got it in my Ghost browser right here. View rendered source. It's called view rendered source. And I'll show you what it looks like. Let's open. This is why I'm not using Ghost right now. It's not very friendly with Big Sur. Let me open this up. Come on. And source. All right, so and you open this up. You wait for this slow ass website. And it's not slow, it's my internet. If I'm being honest. There you go. So there's the raw source code. There's what is rendered, and this is the difference. So here's what the site says to do. This is what Chrome ultimately ends up doing, and then here's the difference in what's there, and which what's changed. This, like, all of this is added, and that stuff's removed, right? So you can kind of see that. Look how much has changed. And I think what this is Ted you probably can tell me if I'm wrong, but I think this is probably the tidy system that Ted talks about all the time, cleaning up some of the code that's in there. And you can see some scripts and all that madness. Most of this stuff is really, you're going to see changes in styling, etc., that are, it's just different. And I think in this particular case, you see how these are really similar, is probably the tidy system, cleaning up a lot of the HTML in this particular website. All right, so it's called View Rendered Source. It's in the Chrome. You like it? It's actually really cool. Okay, where do we go? All right, so we got legal name. That's good. We got award. Next one, we can do brand organization. That's where you can drop your organization schema in there. I'm not going to do that because it'll take us a whole lot of time to do that right. But at the end of the day, you do brand, and then you pick a new type under brand. So just like it says location, and then you pick the type. You would do brand and then type organization, and then all your organizational schema would go inside of there. So in this case, we're not going to do that just for the interest of time. Contact point is typically a phone number. You can mess around with that a little bit if you want to, but at the end of the day, I just put contact point and then a type of phone number and then do like it's customer service. But at the end of the day, I can't put any keywords in there, so I'm not going to mess with that part either. Duns, I don't need. Email, I'm not going to use. The Duns number, Duns and Bradstreet, identifying the organization. If you can have that, that's kind of cool because it just associates the business more with that Duns number. It says, hey Google, I'm real. Hey Google Math, I'm real. But other than that, there's no way to stuff that up. Founder, won't do. In this case, if this was my client, then I would probably do founder to show a example of that. And you can pull my template off of the Digitaleer if you want to. Pull the tool on this latest one, and you can see I got the publisher in there, and I know about all these things, etc. Founder is pretty much the same as this, as it author type with using person. It's pretty much the same write-up, or just doing founder. Typically, you'd want to do founder on your organization schema, and you don't have to get a little bit greedy with it. Like I wouldn't, in this case here, I have author because I'm writing stuff on my blog, and I would probably use founder on the city landing pages versus author. But I would reiterate this same stuff in here, and I've talked about this before, is being consistent in this with the name and the knows about and all that stuff is actually tying back into what Google considers my related stuff for my entity, and all that stuff is popping in under my name. So if I do a search, we go to images, and you see SEO, schema, marketing, rank, schema course, Digitaleer. And this is, since the update is tweaking a little bit, this guy's got an SEO that's trying to do some of his stuff. So, this bounces and changes, but you see it's tying in pretty well. So, it recognizes this stuff. Let me see what, I haven't tried this one. Oops. Yeah, that one's not as tied in. Well, my brand's there, SEO is there, so it's working. But the point is, you want to keep that consistent. So if you whatever you do for you or your client, make sure it's always the same and it's consistent across the rest of the web. And anytime that you address him, you can tie them in with their personal social profiles, their main website, and then the entity stuff that you want to do. So in this case, schema, off-page SEO, and I could probably find better entities to do that list, and that will populate that image section that you saw there. Okay, founding date, don't need that. Global identification number, don't need that unless I have it. Knows about, that's a good one. We will do knows about. I'll try to find a nice clean place. Here we go. Knows about. Oops, wrong ones. And let's go to topicalrelevance.com. And it knows about all of this stuff. And I have a tool on here. Let's see if I can find it. I don't even think I'll be able to find it. Peachtree. There you go. Boom. There's my nose about. And I'll drop this in here. And if you got a lawyer, typically, especially if they're in the car accident stuff, is going to be car, motorcycles, and trucks is usually what they're going to do. And you don't see motorcycles in here in this list, so I'll go ahead and add that just to do my due diligence because I know that they're going to do it right. So, oops, do one more. Because I know that they do. If they do one, they're going to do the other ones, right? So, and then because, and I need this here. I don't need this. All right. So you guys all with me so far? Still good? We're pretty long-winded. Let's see. Nose language. Sometimes, I like to put it in there sometimes, and sometimes I don't, but we'll do it. Nose language. English. Spanish. It's Phoenix. You kind of, if you're in business, you need someone that speaks Spanish. I'm still learning. I am not someone who speaks Spanish, at least not yet. I'm in Yuma. It's even our 68% Hispanic community here. Legal name. I think that's in there. We already got that somewhere. Yeah, there it is. Legal name's there. Location's the address. Logo we already got. Makes offer. In the makes offer, you could actually put your services in there. I have an example of that on the on Digitaleer as well. This page. You want to help me out and you want to steal this schema, go to actually search Phoenix SEO and go click on me. I think I'm in like the 20s. Local business. Where did I put it? I don't think I have this one built out. No. I thought I fixed this. Where did I put that stupid schema? Actually, I don't know. I can show you here. I think it's on the Bellevue page. I want to get it so you guys. I'm trying to find the one so you guys can actually go get it and check it out. That's not it either. You know what I think? Is going on? Let me check something here. My plugin. My plugin screwed up my schema. And if that's the case, there's if you guys don't know, or haven't figured it out yet, 5.6 changed the jQuery on the inside of WordPress. And the jQuery change screws with a little bit of the plugins, etc., and makes things a little whacked out. There we go. Whew, jeez. And I updated and I didn't check all of the nooks and crannies, and obviously so. But what you can do is come to the Bellevue SEO page, just search for Bellevue SEO. I'll get around to fixing the rest of them, and you can pull out the schema here. And you can see we got professional services. Here's all the knows abouts, all that stuff. My application of the founder, the stuff I was telling you about that. And then here's the has offer, and how I implement this, some of the services. Okay, so internet marketing example is here. Content writing, content syndication, all that stuff. And you would do the same thing with here. I'm not going to go into that because it took me fucking forever. I mean, I'll be honest with you, it took me like 3 days to write this schema, because I was doing a lot of stuff the hard way. But now it's like a day to write a nice good schema like this. But that's so go to the Bellevue SEO page, and if you want to, I'll update the Phoenix one while you guys are here. And you can go to the Phoenix SEO page at the same time. I would prefer you went to this page, to be honest. The Phoenix SEO page. Search for Phoenix SEO and find me and give me a little CTR love. Yeah, see, it changed I gotta go through all of my pages and put all that back. There we go. Update. View. Structured data. There, it's all back. Yeah, go rip that one off. You just to get it, you'll find section in here. I think this one is even still busted. Yeah, see, this fucking plugin. You could come in here and there's just click on professional services and you'll see the whole line. It's the at graph. What it's telling me is that if that section is busted, see, like professional service and local business, that means that the Google has changed the way they want to see that at graph stuff, which is why it's really hard to use at graph at scale. And so to get around that, that's why we use why I use the web page separately in our example today, right? I didn't use that graph and just tie those together because Google will change the way that they want these to show up inside it, but the machine will still learn it and it'll still implement it, but it'll kind of does its own thing, right? And it's really freaking annoying when it does its own thing. Let's see. I want to find out where this is. Where is that in my code? What is putting that in there? Oh, I know it's doing that. Yeah, ignore this part. This is my this. That's where that's coming from to pull that aggregate rating in. I don't think it's hurting anything. It's got the same address, right? Because professional service and then local business professional services an underlying schema for local business, so it shouldn't hurt it. And the address is the same. I just want to verify while I'm here, so when you guys go see that, it doesn't look totally dinked. No, I got my Yuma address in there, so I have to go clean that up. Let me scroll. Yeah, I have to clean that up. And I know why that is. It's because when I wrote this schema on my map, if you guys remember, I asked for a bunch of reviews for my maps and they shut down. I changed I updated my services to match my schema on my GMB, and they shut down my GMB, and I was pretty sure I wasn't getting it back, but I ended up getting it back. So I got to go back in there and fix that address. And that will match what I have here for my local business part. The downside, the upside is I get aggregate rating. Like I can kick that in. Doing this, I could probably take that out and do it in my other thing. But this auto updates based off of what's pulled. The downside is it's attached to my. It's like forcing this Google Maps thing. And I have multiple maps inside of this plugin. So there's Yuma and Phoenix and then my Facebook page, but it's picking the Phoenix address across the site. Is that bad? Not necessarily. It just kind of irks me. So I might actually have to go in there and shut off the aggregate rating stuff. So no big deal. Okay, so tangent over. Where we at? Nose language. We got that. Where am I? There you go. Legal name we did. Location, makes offer. We just talked about that. Member of. In this case, you can do member of and then put the Arizona bar. So let's drop that in here. Oh. And I'm just going to be lazy about it. We're just going to do the Arizona Bar Association, State Bar of Arizona. I don't want the login. I just want this. I want the home page. Let me get enough. And you can do even more. You can build that out a lot. Again, it's organization or membership, program membership, which is it's a type, right? So you do type program membership, and then the URL and name and URL if you want to, that kind of stuff, and build it out to tie that in a whole lot better. Let's see. Nonprofit status, not going to worry about that. Funding, not going to worry about. Reviews, we could do that. I'm not going to do that right now. Slogan, Do they have a cutesy slogan? You know how these lawyers love their slogans. I don't see anything. Let's check the homepage. Nope, they don't have a marketing slogan, so I'm not really going to mess with that. Tax ID, don't need. Phone number, don't need. Value added, don't need. And then we get into these. I don't need any of those. Geo's already in there, but I'm not really worried about that. Address isn't in there. Aggregate rating we could add if we wanted to. And then you got description, disambiguous description, main entity of page. I'm not really going to mess with all of those. So let's see. I do want to do description, and that's there. And then I want to do, and I do it like this every time because I hate trying to spell disambiguated live. Disambiguated description. And then I take the description, and then I go to coilbot.com, and I have a membership, so I'm going to sign in. I'll sign in with Google. All right. And then I want to paraphrase it. And I don't really care if it looks nice or not. I'm going to use it all. Stupid. Get out of the way. And put that here. And this is just paste stuff. No. Off. No, for costs. I need that. All right, so it's disambiguated description and description are kind of the same thing. It's just another opportunity for you to put more stuff in there. Let's see. What if you enter Google unverifiable awards or memberships? Why? It doesn't matter. Google is not the end all be all ruler of the world, and not all awards, etc. have to be are necessarily verifiable, even for anything else, right? So you want proof of that? Let's go to let's just pick one. Let's see. I'll just go to this one where I used to work, right? So, why we win. Where is that feature? There you go. 10 best SEOs. To get this one, you have to drop $1,500. Top SEOs. To get this one is there's a free one. And all you have to do is actually put your logo on there, and there's an award. Clutch, it's $1,500. Up City, we're paying $1,500. And let's see, best SEOs, same money. These are all widget link building, and they're all awards, right? So, and who's Google to say that whether that award is legitimate or not? For the most part, most buyers don't even know that these are all paid for. Every single one of these are paid for. And Digitaleer is not even a part of top SEOs, and they send me emails once a quarter asking me, hey, you won this award, put this logo, put this on your website. It's a link building thing. The same thing with Home Advisor and all those other services and stuff that drop out all of this crap. They're all awards. There's another one. There's a cities thing where you can go the best lawyers in the cities of, Olympia, for example. They have they have an organization there that actually say, hey, you're the number one digital marketing agency in Olympia. Give us $299 and we'll give you we'll make this nice plaque for you and send a certificate and stuff. And technically, that organization that says I'm the number one, but guess what? Every other digital marketing agency that paid their $299 is also number one. So, I'm not adding the awards or memberships is not necessarily. I'm not scamming anything. And in particular, I'm not putting that stuff on the web page, right? I'm putting it into Schema. I'm showing the machine. I'm tying in my business with, in this case, this law firm with the Arizona Bar Association. And they are a member of the Arizona Bar Association because they're lawyers and they're practicing in Arizona. So you have to be a member of the bar, right? If you want to go through and invent memberships for whatever it is you're doing, then at the end of the day, be my guest. You can say you're a member of the SIA, for example. You're not lying. It's not it's not a professional organization like the Arizona Bar Association. It's not a part of in taxes. If you're a tax preparer, you have to be a part of CTEC in California, California Tax Education something. I forget what the last C stands for, but once you get the training and you just get signed for your license, you can put membership on there. But it's not an official government membership or anything like that. So you need to get out of the point is get out of your own damn head, right? So if your ethics say that to not give yourself an award in Schema that no one else is possibly going to see, so that you can rank for top Phoenix or top rated or maybe some long tail stuff, and your ethics and your mind say, I'm not going to do that. Well, then don't do it. But you're just kind of setting yourself up, because now you're not going to get an advantage that maybe your customer or your competition is going to do. I can tell you now that if you didn't do it, and I did it, and we're operating in the same thing, I'm going to actually get more rankings off a lot of this long tail stuff that I'm getting in the nose about and the awards and all that stuff than you are, and it's going to cost me way less money. I'm not. It's in the code. I'm not on the website making false representations. I'm just it's in the code. So unless you're a coder, you're not going to see this anyway, right? You're increasing the chances of ranking for that kind of stuff. Let's see. What else? I think that's it. I mean, you can go all day long. If I did the graph thing, this would actually come out looking like. Let me see if I have one open. You guys saw the breadcrumb and the job schema. Let me open one other one. How long does it take to see rankings and improvements from Schema implementation? It used to be right off the bat because it's an on-page change. So remember back in the day, you could do on-page change, submit the index, and then see like within an hour or two. Now you're kind of waiting a week or two to see the benefits, just like you would from links. So typically I'll apply it, resubmit it when that resubmission tool is open, and then watch the page drop like 3 or 4 days later, and then 3 or 4 days after that would come back up to new positions. So a week or two is generally a safe speculation. I typically tell people like 3 weeks, right? So I'm going to do this today. 3 weeks from now, we're going to see the benefits of it. But more often than not, it's a lot faster than that. It just kind of, depends on the crawl rate of your website too. Especially now, since they turned off that the submit index for indexing tool. And I don't, as far as I'm aware, I don't think they're bringing that back. I wanted to show you guys the code for the. Let's see if I can find it. I wanted to show you the code, like how one of these is kind of all built out, but I have to be careful what I show you because I got a lot of test templates mixed in there, and then I don't want you to get all excited about something that I don't know that works or not. Yeah, I'm not seeing it. I'm not going to make you guys sit here and wait for me to search for it. Yep, I'm not seeing it. All right. Well, if you want to get the long version of this one, pull it right off of the website. I think actually, yeah, there it is. There's the Bellevue one, and this one is 357 lines. But like I said, you can minimize it and then end up putting it on one line. That's what the Yoast SEO plugin does. It'll just, it writes it all out and then it minimizes it and puts it all in one line. You don't necessarily have to, but you just make it a little bit harder for people to take your stuff and use it as their own. But at the end of the day, if they're smart, they're going to figure out how to do that anyway, right? So, okay. I think that's it. Like, at the end of the day, what you've gotten now is a nice idea of how to write local business schema. We did kind of cheat. We found a website that actually had it all written in there already, but writing it from scratch is pretty much the same process of what we did there. It doesn't take very long to do it. The lengthening time that will increase is the more you add to it. So. And then the use of @graph, if you want to do that, or you just want to tie that into different types. Like, for example, I could have written a web page schema and is published by, and then put local business schema, and then has part or is part of, and then put the website schema. And then I can put, and then you can nest the has offers into the local business, and it would actually, it's like really cool when you do that, but it's not cool writing it because it takes literally, this show would be like 6 hours for me to knock that all out. But get on there and just get used to writing the local business part. And I think honestly, the hardest ones to write is local business and organization, because you have to pull in the same as the citations and or the brand for the organizations, right? But once you do that, you only have to write those one time. So you're going to spend a lot of time to write these particular schemas out, but you're only going to have to do it one time versus an article schema. That changes for every article. There's some things that'll be the same, but the base of that article schema will change every time, right? But once you get the templates and once you start writing this stuff out, it's a whole lot faster. And you see, the hardest thing you have to worry about, and the example with what I did was with Digitaleer. I got to go back in and reset that. How about now? There we go. Stupid monitor. All right. So as I was saying, have fun with schema, write it out. Just do your local business and your organizations, and you only have to do those once. And once you have the templates down and you've gone through this process and you know what you can do, and you can add You can use those same templates over and over and over again for every one of your clients. And if you have the same clients, it gets even easier than that. So use the tools, check it out. If you need more help, check me out at whatranks.com. There's a schema course there. I'm actually getting ready to add a value-added benefit. I talked about this the last show, but I'm going to make a consultation. So if you're a part of the course, you get some consultation time with me for as part of that. Probably an hour, and then we'll actually sit down together and we can write your schema out, or you can ask questions about your schema and that kind of stuff. So think about that. And then, as always, we have the questions and answer sections of SEO this week. So you don't even have to pay. I'll answer your questions and try to help you out the best that I can. So, all right, it's been episode 187, How to Write Local Business Schema. I appreciate all of you guys for watching, guys and gals, and I'll see you next week.